bridge and the axe. My 6 years of solo hiking bred a dangerous confidence. I left the marked trails of the Monongahela National Forest behind, seeking the deep quiet that only the untouched woods can offer. The silence was perfect, a tangible blanket of moss and damp earth. It swallowed the sound of my own breath. I found the gorge by accident, a sudden jagged tear in the forest floor. It wasn't grand, just deep and dark, with a stream whispering over rocks far below. The only way across was an ancient oak, felled by some long ago storm, its trunk bridging the gap like a challenge. The bark was worn smooth. I tested my weight, feeling the solid, unmoving groan of old wood. Halfway across, suspended above that rocky mouth, the world narrowed to the grain beneath my boots and the cold air rising from the darkness. The adrenaline was clean, sharp. Then I was on the other side, my heart thumping a proud rhythm. The thunk shattered the quiet. It was rhythmic, deliberate. I turned to see a man on the far bank. He wasn't there before. He was in his 50s, draped in a camo jacket bleached by seasons, his beard a nest of gray and brown. In his hands, a full-sized felling axe. He didn't look at me. He walked to the base of my oak bridge and swung. The sound was wet, meaty. Chips of pale wood flew. "Hey!" My voice was too high, swallowed by the gorge. "What the hell are you doing?" He swung again. The tree trembled. Not much, just enough. Panic stripped me of sense. I screamed, insults, pleas, nonsense. He kept swinging, each blow measured and deep. Finally, I shrieked, "I need to cross back." That's when he stopped. He set the axe down carefully, almost tenderly, and took 2 steps to the edge. He looked up. His face was gaunt, the skin around his eyes the color of a bruise, sunken into his skull. He looked at me not with anger, but with a cold, pitiful certainty. "I know these woods," he said, his voice a dry rustle of leaves. "A lot better than you do." It wasn't a threat, it was a diagnosis. He picked up his axe, turned, and vanished into the green. The tree was wounded. A deep, weeping gash splintered the trunk where it met his world. Crossing back was suicide. My phone was a dead brick. The gorge, as I hurried downstream, became a canyon. The walls grew higher, the gap wider. Solitude curdled into entrapment. The sun began to bleed away, and with it, the warmth. That is when I found the clearing. It wasn't a campsite, it was a shrine to something wrong. Symbols were carved into the tree trunks, not initials but deep, angry gouges that formed no language I knew. Rusted tools lay in a circle. Strips of cloth, stained and stiff, fluttered from branches like diseased flags. Animal bones picked clean were arranged in careful, spiraling patterns on a flat stone. The air smelled of wet rot and cold ashes. I ran. Almost immediately I heard it, the soft crush of a footfall not my own. Then another. I spun. Nothing but shifting shadows. I walked faster. The sounds kept pace. Then I saw a figure slipping behind a thick pine. Then another farther to the left. They were herding me, keeping the gorge on my flank. I caught a glimpse of metal, a pipe, a crowbar, in a grimy hand. Then came the scream, not a word, just a raw, ululating shriek that tore through the gathering dark. It was answered from another direction. They weren't hiding anymore. I ran like prey. My lungs burned. My pack slammed against my spine. In the fading light, I saw it, another fallen tree, slender and rotten, spanning a narrower part of the chasm. It was my only chance. I didn't think. I scrambled onto it, the wood spongy and untrustworthy. It bowed under my weight, groaning. The darkness seemed to breathe. I stumbled onto solid ground and whirled around. 3 of them stood at the far edge, silhouettes in the twilight, all wearing tattered camo, all bearing that same gaunt, hollow look. The one in front placed a hand on the decaying log I just crossed. He stared at me. Then, slowly, he shook his head and stepped back. One of them spoke, his voice carrying across the void with eerie clarity. "Get the fuck out of here," he paused, letting the silence swell. "You got lucky." I didn't need telling twice. I ran until the trees blurred and the only sound was the ragged sob of my own breath. I found the trailhead in full darkness, my car a lonely metal shell under the stars. I reported men with axes, strange camps. The ranger listened, took notes, his face a mask of polite skepticism. Nothing was ever found. I still hike, but the silence is different now. It's no longer empty, it's patient. And sometimes, in the rustle of leaves, I don't hear the wind. I hear the echo of an axe, biting deep into wood, and a voice dry as a bone stating a simple, terrible fact.